Okay, Terry, we are live, and this is what's going to go up on YouTube because behind the scenes it's uncut. So
Okay.
let's go right into timelines of success. Couple minute pause. I should say couple second pause. Welcome to Timelines of Success, episode 95. Today we have Terri J. Terri, through intuitive counseling, and has helped thousands of people overcome their fears, hurts, low esteem, so they can have the confidence, life, and love that they deserve. So, Terri, welcome to Timelines of Success.
It's great to be here, Bill.
Well, tell us about your timeline and what you're doing now, and we're going to talk about how you got there.
Oh, it's been an amazing, amazing journey. The way that I got my start was back in 1990. I was doing horseback therapy with a disabled child, and he's nonverbal. So when I picked him up off the horse, I picked him up out of his wheelchair and I put him on the back of one of my horses, and he said, "Ouch, I have a cramp in my hip." So I looked at him and I said, "You have a cramp? Well, here, sit this way. It'll take the cramp out." And he said, "Hey, you can hear me." And I said, "Well, of course I can hear you." It didn't dawn on me at the time that he was totally nonverbal. So we went through our riding therapy program, and I took him off the horse and put him back in his wheelchair, and he went back to class. Well, the gal that was helping me said kind of sarcastically, "Boy, he sure is talking great." And I said, "Well, just because he has cerebral palsy doesn't necessarily mean that he's, mentally handicapped." And she said, "Terri, he didn't say a word. He can't, remember?" And if I was a horse, I would have done a buck, fart, snort, because they do all three of those things at one time when they're really spooked, and I was really spooked.
Wow.
So I went into the classroom and they put a device on his head. It's a band that has a pointer, and he had typed out on his computer, "Horse lady can hear me." I mean, a lot of times they don't remember my name, but they remember I'm the horse lady. So it works out really well. So anyway, that was just a real shocker that I could, hear unspoken communication. So when I went back outside, the gal that was helping me said, "Well, if you can hear non-spoken communication, then you can learn to communicate with the horses, because wouldn't that make your program really safe?" And so that would just really intrigued me. So mostly I just wanted to be able to really thank the horses for the job that they did in the program, because they just did miracles every day. So that sort of began my adventure. That was 25 years ago. And the rest, as they say, is history.
And you live in Reno, Nevada, Washoe Valley?
Washoe Valley, yes.
And a small ranchette out in the valley with a horse?
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Very good. Have you been there for all the 25 years? Same place?
I've lived here since '86.
Wow.
I've been out here since '86.
Well, Washoe Valley is a beautiful place. It's between Reno and Carson City. And it's got what a nice place to live.
So it really is. Nobody minds horse manure on the streets. They'll scoop it up and put it in their garden. They don't go, "Oh, there's manure," because there's manure everywhere.
Well, little background here. I met you. You came to one of our meetups when we were talking about WordPress. And I said, "Man, you look familiar." And about a block away from where we meet up at a small coffee shop called Swill, you were on the billboard. So tell us, how did you get from the horse ranch to the billboard and performing at the Atlantis Casino Hotel and other places?
Oh, that was really a great experience. Just over the years, I've worked to sort of hone my craft, and I was very blessed to have two energy healers, and they really taught me, no ego, no stake in the outcome, just get out of your own way, just feel for the information, no thinking aloud. And so little by little, more and more came to me. And of course, one of my mentors used me sometimes 5 times a day to look at everything from the fit of her saddle for her horse to looking at a hotel she was looking at purchasing. And I would do a remote inspection of that hotel. So she really pushed me to just expand my abilities. And it's like, if you got one, you got them all. And I really, I'm very grateful to her for doing that. So over the years, one of the things that's really come to light is the ability to communicate with both people and pets that have passed. And, we don't know what goes on the other side. It's a scary thing to think about someone dying. And so I've really developed my medium abilities to where I so look forward to communicating with somebody who's passed for their loved ones because I can't make this stuff up. It's just so detailed. There's no way I can know this information. And it's so healing to my clients that are grieving to get this information. It's just so healing. Their hearts are lighter because they've really gotten confirmation that not only have they heard from their loved one, but there is something beyond this life that we know. And so basically, because of working and honing my craft and getting more and more clear and more detailed information, I thought, I want to get this information out to larger audiences. And so we had the idea to do a show and then tape that show and then turn it into a television show. And one of the shows I did at the Atlantis worked out great, but the other one, the first one we did, you could hear all the casino noise in the background. So we couldn't use any of it after the show. It was really, really depressing to find that out. But I try to stay in surrender and know that when it's the right time and the right place, that I will have a show so that I can help people to heal, not only their pets and themselves, but also to heal from grief.
Right. You talked about a lot of things there, and I was going to step back a little bit. When you talked about remote perception, is that it?
Remote viewing, yeah.
Remote viewing, excuse me, remote viewing. And I'm going to ask you, meditation, people meditate. Is there any connection there on the remote viewing and the meditation, or how you focus in on something? Like when you're doing a remote view of this hotel, what's in your mind? What's coming to you?
It's like I'm there. I get smells, sounds, feelings. Each one of us is like a big cell phone tower. And so anyone can learn to do this and pick up on information. We just have been taught that we can't. And I didn't have anyone telling me I couldn't. I had people telling me, yeah, go for it. So it's almost like you're there, like your energy leaves and goes to that remote location, and then you can pick up on things. And if you can really learn to get out of your own way, then you just listen for your guidance. Because if you're looking at a whole hotel, all you really need to focus on are the places that are problem areas. Like a piece of flashing is off the roof. Well, right now it's not a big deal. If they get a big rainstorm, then it's going to be a big deal. I'll get things like a boiler is going to go out. Or I'll get where there's asbestos. It's a very old place and there's still asbestos that needs to be removed. I remember one reading that I got that there was a lot of pressure built up on a fault line, and I actually got 3.2 miles from the hotel. And of course, my friend went through the geologic and went, "Oh, very clever." And she always used to say, "It's very clever," when I'd get something, and then she could back it up. So it isn't like I was a substitute for an inspector. It's just that I was another pair of eyes looking at the whole situation. I love doing remote viewing because it's amazing what I get, especially the smells. If I'm trying to find a lost pet, I'll get tastes and smells. So it's pretty interesting.
I know on the senses, they say if you abandon a couple senses, whether it's your hearing or your seeing, and you think, your other senses are still there, your feel, you'll have more capacity with those other senses. So you mentioned something else. You talked about being able to communicate with the spirits or people, or to have a spirit still available. If you could explain that a little bit more. And for example, I know a lot of people who said they felt the warmth, the love of a lost one. It's still with them for a period of time. What's that all about?
Absolutely. What's so fascinating about that, Bill, is that when someone passes, it seems like their family members can sense them right away. And it's because their vibration is still high. They're not in the deep throes of grief. And so as they get further and further into grief, and depression goes along with that, their vibration gets so low that they can no longer perceive their loved ones. Their loved ones haven't left. They haven't gone on. It's just that their own vibration has dropped so low they can't sense them anymore. So talking with people that have passed, all I need is their name, their age of passing, and either what they did for a living or just one other piece of information about them. and I can get them. And to me, I have had people criticize that and say, oh, you have to do cold readings. Cold readings are the only way. Well, I'm going to get all kinds of stuff. And there may be areas I can go into that you may not want me to go into, like childhood abuse issues and that sort of thing. So if we're trying to communicate with somebody that passed, I only need those few little tidbits of information, and then I can get that person every time. And I apologize for the double negative, but I've never not been able to reach someone on the other side. Never. In all the 25 years of doing this.
So how about people who actually just feel someone's spirit over a period of time in their life?
Oh yeah, everybody should be able to do that. I think we try to ignore it, or we don't believe it, or we don't even know that it's possible. And of course, there's so much negative and wrong information in television and movies that people have those kinds of perceptions. You know, you even have TV shows where you have very well recognized mediums saying things like, oh, they're stuck, they haven't crossed over. Nothing could be further from the truth. Everyone crosses over. So what these mediums are picking up on, I believe, is they're picking up on the negative energy that was shed off. Because only those things that are vibrational match to our source can go to the other side. So all our happy, positive memories, positive experiences, all of that can go to the other side. Everything negative has to stay here because it's not a vibrational match. So if you don't have discernment, if you don't understand that hard dividing line between positive and negative energy, I can tune into the negativity of somebody that's passed and go, oh God, they feel horrible, you know, and that's so distressing for the person who's lost the loved one.
How does that fit in with what you're doing with religion, with the religions? There's the 6 great religions. How does that work?
You know, I'm just more spiritual. I mean, I've got a very eclectic background. I was raised Jewish, and then I got into Buddhism when I was 17, and that taught me about the laws of karma. That's pretty heady stuff for a 17-year-old to learn about. And so now I think I'm just more spiritual than anything. I think some people need religion. And I think for them, if it's a positive experience, then they should participate. It's up to each individual.
Very good, very good. So in the last few minutes of our first section here, I'm going to step back and go back to your show. Now, at your show, do you bring people up on stage, or do you demonstrate, or how does your show, what's the flow of your show?
In one show, we had the first one I did several years ago, we had a lot of video and of me talking to horses and talking to other animals, and it just sort of gave an overview of kind of what I do.
Okay.
And then I did some audience questions. But the second show that I did was, oh my God, it was incredible. I was able to, I don't know if you've been to some of the other medium shows, but they read about 7 or 8 people. That's it.
Right.
And the people that are being read, they're not allowed to say anything. They're not allowed to contribute. I mean, it's like yes or no. So the rest of the audience is sitting there going, was that good? Was that bad? What happened? And with mine, I brought the people up. I asked who they wanted to talk to. And then when we got a hit, then they were allowed to share why it was a hit. And so it made it interesting for everybody. In that show, I did 28 readings in an hour and 45 minutes. And my staff told me that I got 79 positive results. I was amazed at that.
So you used multimedia in with your show too. So you're projecting up on the board and showing people your relationship with animals, and then going on. Interesting. That's putting multimedia into shows is really neat. How long have you been doing the multimedia?
We did it just for that one show.
Okay.
I didn't want to do it for the second show. I wanted to do just readings, just like a big medium party. Oh God, it was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again.
So in closing, very good. That sort of leads me into our question here. In closing up our first section about Terri J. Right now, you're doing a few shows. You've got your work groups, and you talk one-on-one as a counselor. Where do you go from here? What's your next step?
Well, I'm actually working on development of a television show. I'm just so disgusted with the negative, hurtful information that's coming through on other television shows. And I just want to show people the truth. I really want to show them the truth and how wonderful all of this is and how anybody can learn to do it. These aren't gifts. They're abilities that anyone can develop.
Right. And you live in Washoe Valley, which is very close up to Incline, and there's a lot of movie stars and media people up in Incline, just 20 minutes away?
Right. Well, I think it's about 40.
Oh, yeah, you have to drive up to Reno there and cut up
Right.
Mount Rose.
Right.
Yeah, so you got a little further there. But
And I'm trying to get my book done too. I'm writing a book about the truth about mediums, ghosts, and spirits because I really want the truth to get out so people can heal.
well, you're going to be at 1MC on Wednesday, and
Yes.
you'll see folks. We had folks from the we have every Wednesday in Reno at Swells. We have really a great group of people coming in and speak. I think 2 weeks ago we had from Incline a producer of reality TV, and they were actually looking down here for more reality TVs to start up.
Okay. Would you point those people out to
We
me
will
next
do. You
week?
missed it, so I'll see you.
For
In fact,
sure.
I can send you the link. I've
Okay.
got that
Super.
link. So very good. So going on to part two of Timeline of Success, it's kind of my bottom line up front questions. Kind of a little different here because we have a lot of tech folks on and how we apply tech. First thing I always ask is, do you use a Mac or PC?
I use a PC.
And you're on your little PC right now, and this is something new that we're testing, which I love. It's just a quick little Skype. Your sound is great. Your video is not too bad. So you're on your PC. Very good. And it's a small PC, if I remember.
Yes, it's very small.
And what type of phone do you like to use?
Oh, my phone is my lifeline. I have a Galaxy Note 2, and I'm probably going to get the Note 4. I just love it. It's like having your computer with you all the time.
Oh,
You're always in contact with your clients, and I do get a lot of emergency calls, so I want to be available.
well, I've got a new tool for you we'll talk about. It's called LastPass. It is
Yes.
amazing. I'll see you Wednesday, and I'll show you LastPass on my iPhone, which works on my computer. It is one password for everything. I've got 173 passwords. It's all encrypted past that. So as long as you don't bust my main password, that means I can have really strong passwords for everything else.
Great.
What is your favorite app or technology that makes you more productive? I think you sort of answered that just a few minutes ago.
Oh, my phone.
Your
Yeah, for
Galaxy.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would we do without the cell phone? How do we run without cell phones?
I don't know. I don't know. There are some drawbacks to cell phones if you think about it, though, because people aren't talking to each other, and they're not interacting the way they should be. So
I don't get a lot of phone calls anymore. It's more text. I call people from time to time, but it's more text, and that's interesting. So, how does that affect your business? The cell phone? Does the cell phone have anything to do with readings or the energy?
yes, I actually do readings on my cell phone. If somebody wants a specific time and I know I'm going to be away from my office, then I'll do it, by cell phone. And it's really fun because I can even put their credit card information through while I've got them on the
Wow.
phone. And so it's really great to be able to just have that technology to where you basically can work anywhere. I could work on a beach. I've even done readings while I was riding horseback.
Oh, you're amazingly tech savvy. I think you should come and talk to some of the groups I talk in front of about your tech use. You're way ahead of a lot of folks. That's
Well, I
good.
just love it. It's so freeing. It's so freeing. You're not stuck to a desk.
True, true. What is your favorite quote?
Oh, there's only one. With God, all things are possible. Maybe we should change that to with source, all things are possible, because I like to think of it as source energy. But I just hang on to that and know that whatever I desire, I can manifest.
Our founding fathers used the word creator in the
Yes,
Constitution. It was the creator, that creator being related to God, and all religions have a relationship with God. And you
absolutely.
say the source, so it's all there.
Yes. I believe that source or God is love energy with the intention to create. And therefore, that same energy is within all of us. So each one of us is the creator of our own lives.
That reminds me of a Christian Science quote. I think is God is love.
Yes.
Very good. What is your favorite book?
Right now, E squared. E squared. I wish I wrote it. I mean, I even talked to Pam Grout,
Pam
the
Graff, the
author,
author, right?
and I even said, "Oh, I wish I wrote this." I said, "You just put it down so concisely about, what the truth is," and I just love it. And it really is showing that there's no difference between physics and spirituality.
And on Timelines of Success and New Media Gold, we have a link to that book, E Squared, Do It Yourself Energy, and we'll make 25 cents if you go in there and click it and order it.
Oh, great,
Make a
great.
fortune. But I started looking at that book. Interesting book. It has like 9 do-it-yourself energy experiments for the
Right.
person.
And that way people can really try it out. We just feel so separate from our source. We think, I mean, I love how she says God is not ZZ Top sitting on a cloud. Just love that where she writes about that in her book, and that it's energy. I had a really interesting experience. I get acupuncture done, and my acupuncturist is a gas. I mean, he is amazing. Well, if you put a needle in your third eye, which is
Oh,
right about
painful.
here.
Okay.
No, it wasn't painful at all.
Third eye,
And
got
one
you.
in your and one in your crown chakra, and then one in your thymus. It produces this incredible relaxation state. But if you just do third eye and crown, I mean, the first time he did it, I just saw God. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. And it was just this beautiful white light, loving energy. It was incredible.
That's very good. Very good. One thing that she says that I was reading, it says thoughts create reality.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think? Thoughts create reality. So it's what you think you become or what you believe you become?
Yeah, but it's a little more complicated than that. I mean, thoughts are things, thoughts become things. Pick the good ones, because if
Right.
the universe doesn't hear yes or no, I mean, you can think about this, Bill, when somebody gets a new car and they go, I hope I don't wreck it, I hope I don't wreck it, I hope, and sure enough, that's the person that'll wreck their brand new car, because they weren't saying, I give thanks for my safety, I'm protected in my car. They weren't putting out good stuff, they were putting out bad stuff, and so they pulled in the bad.
I can see that. Sometimes you get intuition, bad things are going to happen though, and you think about them.
Well, but if you focus on that with no, 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 you can help make it happen.
Right. That's
And
a tough area.
you have to turn it around. You have to turn it around and see it as a positive result rather than a negative result.
With moving a little ways, on post-traumatic stress, one thing they teach is to take that thought and get it out of your mind, throw it down and stamp on it.
Yeah, that works too.
I mean, you don't want to think about the same things over. And that's what post-traumatic stress is the soldier or whoever is experiencing it is getting that thought over and over where they can't focus.
Right. And I think too, tapping helps that. I've heard her real good results with tapping, and also energy healing can really help too. If we think about post-traumatic stress and even childhood issues, almost all of them are about disempowerment. It's like with post-traumatic stress, you have no power to unlive it or unsee what caused it.
Or just don't think about it.
Right. Well, but a lot of people, they just do that. They have that mental recording going in their brain and they can't make it stop. So sometimes writing it down and telling off whoever was responsible and then burning it and saying, no one's ever going to do that to me again, that takes your power back. And it works with childhood issues and it works with PTSD really, really well.
In theater overseas, they have clinical psychologists, and that's exactly what they say.
Right. But you have to burn it. Just writing it down doesn't make a difference. You're actually, you're releasing that negative energy to the ethers.
Right. You're releasing it. Right. Thinking about people talking about it helps release too among each other.
Yes.
Very good. So in pulling it all together here for our last session, we like to find out, when you're not doing the meditation, the healing, the vision, what are you doing? What do you like to do on your off time when it's just you?
Off time? What's that? I don't know.
That's right. You're self-employed. You're always working.
I am always working. And I really want to get this book done because I think it can really help a lot of people and protect a lot of people from charlatans and just from people that don't know any better. So I spend a lot of time working on my book, and then I do have my horse. So
I was going to say, you love that horse.
Yes. So when Maggie the princess is sound, I go horseback riding.
Where do you horseback ride?
Oh my goodness! You just walk out the driveway.
Right.
I'm 2 blocks from BLM land, so it's just not a big deal.
Right. You go up with the wild horses?
Oh, I try to stay away from them.
Right. They come down. Go ahead.
Well, I have a mare, and if you have a mare and there's a stallion in the bunch, and your mare's in season, you could really create some problems.
Oh, I could see that. Very good.
I don't want to tempt that.
So for our listener, what is the one takeaway you want them to take away from this podcast?
I would say that everybody has intuitive abilities and anyone can develop them. You just have to get out of your own way, have no ego, no stake in the outcome, just feel for the information, and always give thanks when you hear guidance. Always give thanks.
Very good, Terri. So Terri, how can the listener contact you?
The best way is through my website, which is www.terri, jay.com. That's the best way.
Very good. And if you go to Timeline of Success and show notes for episode 90, make sure I got the right, 95, excuse me, we will have your links to Twitter, Facebook, your webpage, and your email.
Yeah, perfect. That's a really easy way to get a hold of me, because I'm always on my landline, so I don't like to give that number out because I'm always on it doing readings. So, and I work 7 days a week and holidays.
Right.
So,
you talk about working from right here. Are you able to do all your work from right here in this area in Carson Valley?
well, I do my work all over the world because I can do it by phone. I don't, people always say, well, I want to come and see you. And I go, oh, no, you don't want to. Because it means I have to put makeup on and do my hair and clean my house. And then it's going to cost you extra. So, I joke about it, but I'm much more clear over the phone because I'm not distracted by the physical.
Okay. So do you travel at all? Go out?
Yes. I'll be in Las Vegas March 20th through the 22nd. I have some family obligations, but I'm trying to get a show for March 20th. I'm hoping.
Okay. Do we have any idea where it is?
No. I've got people down there still working
your
on trying
bookers.
to find
Okay. Well, tell us and we'll put it up. We'll add it to your show note. When March 20th, we'll be looking for that show date in Las Vegas, and we'll put it up on the site.
And I'm booked. I'm currently being booked by 615 Entertainment. They have offices in Nashville and Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
And they're booking me on cruises and for Indian casinos. So I'll hopefully be able to get all over the country.
Oh, that sounds good. Very good. So in closing, we have our fun question. What's your favorite food?
Oh, God. It has to be Sienna Sushi.
Sienna Sushi?
Sienna Sushi. Yeah, I think it's called Sushi Saga.
Sienna? Like Sienna, the casino in downtown?
Yep. I have never been able to find any other sushi place that makes this one thing as good as they do. It's called a Priscilla.
Love that. Love that casino. It's a beautiful location on the river and a beautiful hotel. Nice little place. Quaint.
Yep, it really is. But their sushi, oh my goodness.
Very
really
good. So everyone can go down to the Sienna Casino and whatever it's called, right downtown Reno. It's a beautiful hotel casino. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Terri. And we're looking forward to seeing you on future shows. And I'll see you at the Swill on Wednesday.
Oh, it sounds great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Take care. Okay, very good show. We're going to go off. It was 27 minutes, 30 seconds, and it will be uncut on YouTube, but we will tweak it out a little bit for the podcast.
Okay, super.
So I'm going to turn this off and we can continue to talk.
Okay.